I told my fiance I'd leave him and take our baby if he quits his job. My fiance Mark and I are expecting our first baby in early February, just 2 months away. I got laid off from my marketing job 3 months ago, but I've been doing some freelance work to bring in money. It's not much, maybe a third of what I used to make, but it's something while I look for a real work from home position. Mark has a decent job at a software company making about 75 grand a year. Not amazing, but enough to keep us going while I'm between jobs. The problem is he absolutely hates it there. He complains every single night about his boss, his coworkers, the projects, everything. Last night we were eating dinner when he dropped this bomb on me. He said in January he's going to demand a $30,000 raise and the ability to work from home 4 days a week. I looked at him like he was crazy because his company barely gives annual raises and nobody there works from home that much. I asked him what happens if they say no. He got this look on his face and said, "Then I'll quit." Just like that, like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. My fork literally stopped halfway to my mouth. I asked him what his plan was then. How are we supposed to pay rent? How would we afford diapers and formula and a crib and all the stuff a newborn needs? He leaned back in his chair all confident and said we'd move in with my parents, not his parents, my parents, who live in a tiny 2-bedroom house 4 hours away. I was in shock. I asked him how we'd pay bills, and he said, well, you'd have to cover everything with your freelance money until my website design business takes off. His website design business that doesn't exist yet, that he's never mentioned before, that he has 0 clients for. I started laughing because I thought he was joking, but he wasn't joking. He was dead serious. I told him there was no way in hell that was happening, that I'm not going to be working full-time days after giving birth while he sits around trying to build a business from scratch. And by the way, he just bought a brand new Honda last year. The payment is $520 a month. He expects me to cover that, plus rent, plus my car, plus food, plus utilities, plus everything the baby needs on my maybe $2,000 a month of freelance income. I lost it. I told him if he quits that job, I'm packing my stuff and moving in with my parents myself, without him, and he can figure out how to pay for his fancy car on his own. That's when he started yelling about how unfair I was being. He brought up COVID when I wasn't working, and he supported us both. He kept saying I was being selfish and not believing in him. I reminded him that during COVID, we lived in a cheap apartment in a small town where rent was like $700. We didn't have a baby, and he didn't have a $45,000 car payment hanging over his head. Totally different situation. He stormed out and went to his mom's house. An hour later, I started getting texts from his mom, his sister, and even some of his friends. They were all calling me terrible, saying I was abandoning him when he needed support, that he sacrificed for me, and now I won't do the same. His mom sent me this long message about how Mark is special and has so much potential, that I'm crushing his dreams and being controlling. His sister said I was trapping him in a miserable job and that real partners support each other no matter what. One of his buddies actually texted me saying I was being a gold digger who only cares about money. A gold digger, while I'm pregnant and doing freelance work and looking for a full-time job. Make it make sense. The worst part is Mark told everyone his version where he's this ambitious guy trying to follow his dreams and I'm the mean girlfriend holding him back. He left out the part where his big plan involves me working full-time with a newborn while he plays entrepreneur with no savings and no business plan. I called my mom crying and she said I did the right thing, that bringing a baby into the world requires stability, not wild dreams and his parents' basement. But now Mark won't answer my calls and his whole family thinks I'm the villain.